Ladies and gentlemen, this is the president of professional wrestling, Mr. Edward Hawkins, and I am drinking at Moe's.
Drinking at Moe's, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinking at Moe's, where we don't quit. Drinking at Moe's, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, no, it's a scream.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' Mo's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinking at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody, welcome Drinking at Moe's. Big Mo here. You know the drill by now. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, because it helps with that pain in the ass YouTube algorithm, where most places can find audio podcasts too. And you know what? I'm excited because, not every day do you get to have a president on your podcast, but today I get the president of professional wrestling, Edward Hawkins. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, sir. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain. Stuff outside of the podcast and different stuff, a little crazy right now, but hey, I'm plugging along, so that's got to count for some.
Yeah, there you go. Especially all the things that's going around, and even in wrestling nowadays, you got so much things that's going on. I mean, I'm just lucky I had time to be doing a interview with you, sir.
Oh, and I appreciate your time, but we're going to go into a little bit of what's going on, but first, everybody, first time they come on, first thing I like to start off with everybody with is what got you started as a fan, and then what got you started making that leap into the business.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this is an interesting story. So basically, when I was born, I lived up in North Philly, and North Philly back in the 80s, there was like nothing to do. I mean, there was basketball and like everything, but I was like barely a year old, so I had nothing else to do. So I basically just had TV, and lo and behold, so this one time I went to my uncle's room and his TV was off, and I didn't know how to cut it off because all I had to do was just push the button. Nowadays, when now people nowadays just use the remote and just hit the button, but no, it was I just went in this room, I turned on the TV, and then I got introduced to wrestling. It was I want to say it was a Saturday night's main event, and it was Hulk Hogan cutting a promo, and all of a sudden I was just like mesmerized. I did say holy crap, this, what is this guy thinking of? And then fast forward a little bit. I want to say when I got a year older, when I moved from North Philly, I tried to fit in. I tried different types of sports, activities, and it wasn't just clicking for me. And I feel like I was missing something. Just something was missing. And so I came home from school one day, and that's when I sat on the couch and I went and turned on the TV. It was on USA already. And it was Monday Night Raw, and I said, "Oh, I got to reintroduce to wrestling again," and that's what I was missing. It was like professional wrestling was missing in my life. So I kept And this is like 94 to 95. And this is like, it was a great time to be a wrestling fan because this is like the start of the Monday Night Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because you had WCW at 8 o'clock and then you had Monday Night Raw at 9 o'clock. So there was like a solid 2 hours of wrestling right there on Monday nights.
Oh,
and, yeah. So, and then like sometimes like Monday Nitro would do a replay. I don't know if anybody know about that. Monday Nitro does a replay on TNT, and it was like 11 to midnight. And I said, "Oh, okay, so cool." Yeah, and and that's the only thing I had going in my head, like, was wrestling. And I always like just wait till Monday night to watch wrestling, and then I got good because I see wrestling was on Saturdays, like Saturday morning Superstars. Then also it was the Action Zone on Sunday, which I doubt anybody knows about that show. If you talk to almost any wrestling fan.
Yeah, I vaguely remember, but I know the one thing for me, Saturday nights growing up was always WCW Saturday night. And growing up in a Catholic household, it was like my parents always wanted to go to church on Saturday evenings. And I remember when I discovered WCW Saturday night, I would always be like, "Oh man, I want to watch wrestling. I don't want to go to church."
Mm-hmm. I would say exactly. I basically did not hang. I basically hardly hang out with anybody. I basically just like watched wrestling every time it came on. And WCW Saturday night, that was another one. Also, there was WCW Pro on Sundays as well. And then I'm like saying, like, I wonder if there's any more wrestling that comes on any other day. And I found out on Tuesday, and that's how I got introduced to ECW, because it shows up on Tuesday nights on WGTW channel 48. And I'm like saying, like, okay, so I just keep on digging until I like get as much wrestling as I can, because that's the only thing I can just do when I get home is just watch wrestling. That's it.
Oh yeah, I remember those days, especially the Monday Night Wars. That last channel button on the damn remote got worn out because I'd be in between the both, oh, Raw's on commercial, Nitro, and just flipping back and forth all the time.
Yeah, so you get it. So like, it's like, say like if Monday Nitro with the commercial, then okay, let me see what was going on Raw. I mean, say I just want to just keep in the loop. Let's say what was going on between those two companies.
Oh yeah.
And then after for a while, I was like, say like, oh, this is much wrestling I get. And then came the 2000s when they start showing like CCW and ROH. I'm like saying like, what kind of wrestling is this? And then that's when I got introduced to the independent wrestling when it was on TV.
Oh yeah. Yep, I remember I heard about some independent wrestling here in Nebraska, but at the time it was a little bit more of a drive for me. And then I got stationed out in San Diego, and I figured, you know what, I'm just going to look it up. Pro wrestling in San Diego. And then boom, found a couple promotions. One of them, it's not running anymore, but I actually had both of those promoters on the podcast. And just, I remember when WrestleMania was in LA, I had a bunch of my friends in wrestling down there asking me, "Are you going to come down? All you got to do is just get your plane ticket and your tickets to the show. You got to put," I'm like, "You're making a tempting offer."
Yeah.
So yeah, oh God. And when it came to independent wrestling, man, it has been just a snowball effect from that point on. A guy that used to run a promotion here in Omaha, Nebraska, who has since passed, God rest his soul. I actually met him down there, and he told me about up here. So when my enlistment ended and I got back, I looked into, and then now I live just across town, and I'm like, I got friends. I'm actually a week from this Saturday, I'm actually making my commentary debut for a friend who's starting up a suicide awareness. It's a suicide awareness charity show, and then he's wanting to, make a semi-regular promotion out of it. And he asked me because big fan of the podcast, he's like, I want you on commentary. I'm like, for a cause like that, just tell me when. And then come to find out, one of the guys that's going to be in the main event is actually, speaking of ROH, Cheeseburger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know Burger very well. He had I did a seminar with him, and he also like he helped me like during the ROH show, because he actually got me one of the securities at an ROH show back in I want to say it was 2017.
Okay.
So he got me as an extra, and I said thank you. I was like,
nice.
yeah.
I was a little bummed because Ring of Honor never really came that close to Omaha. I think the closest was maybe St. Louis, and driving, that's about 8 or so hours.
Oh yeah, that's a hike.
Yeah. And through the podcast, I've actually had some great people from history of Ring of Honor, the SATs, the Maximo brothers. They were one of my first like out of state names, and then it snowballed. I had a guy that used to own it, Kerry Silkin, had him on. That one took me off guard because I reached out thinking it was going to be a total long shot, and then it just, when we confirmed it, it was literally right before Tony Khan bought it.
Oh.
So that was interesting. I got told, just don't advertise it beforehand, because he had already told me he was going to do it. So it was like, I'm going to do it, but there's it. So I'm like, if that's all it takes.
So he's already like smarting you up a little bit.
Yeah. And hell, I've had a former 6-man tag champ Dutch on. That was fun.
Oh.
That actually got the late great Bray Wyatt liking a post on that episode. And I tell you, when I got that alert, I about dropped my damn phone.
Oh God. Yeah, getting an alert from Bray Wyatt, that would make you drop anybody's phone, especially from a larger life superstar that he was. God rest his soul.
Oh yeah. I remember as soon as because I was in traffic at the time, and I'm like, okay, when I get to a place I can stop, I actually messaged Dutch again because I didn't realize that him and Bray were friends. So I was like, are you? And he's like, oh, then I'm like, oh yeah, that explains a lot. Yeah. And man, when I remember when Bray passed, I messaged Dutch again because I'm like, I don't know if you're going to even feel up to even responding. I'm just letting you know I'm thinking about you. And that, yeah, because that took everybody off guard, especially him being as close in age as he was to myself. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it was like
now,
nuts.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead, finish. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, yeah, no, because I was going to jump in because, I've lost count of how many people from H2O I've had on. Like, I think it started with Chris Bradley, and then it just snowballed. And I think, I can't think. I know your group now with Duncan Aleem and Brian Neal in there. I think now with you, there's literally only one person from your group that I haven't had on yet.
And that would be
one of the Brax.
It was I know you. I didn't see an interview with Brax. Did you also get an interview with Johnny Radix, aka Charlie?
Yes. Yep, I've had.
Yep.
So literally now, Brax is the only one from your group I haven't had on yet.
Yeah. Like a thing about Brax, he's an up and coming talent in the deathmatch scene. I mean,
oh yeah,
totally. Like kudos, like I mean, like for where like his career was, and then when he got to H2O, and then we partnered, and then when we partnered, we clicked, like just automatically. Yeah. Like I could tell, like he was like a little bit lost when he like got here, but then like when we tagged up, it was just like. It was like poetry in motion. It was smooth. Same thing with my other partner, Johnny Radix. When we have like the cabinet, I mean, like every time we're in together, it's just smooth because we're like bouncing off ideas and bouncing off like chemistry off of one another. It's just like it was like a solid group that we're in. And then just add in Duncan Aleem and Brian Neal with now the new group, the Heads of State. Now you got like the ultimate heel faction that people wanted to come in, see, boo, whatever. It's just like it's just going to be a wild roller coaster ride from here on out.
Oh yeah, hell, I remember, seeing you guys together even before Duncan Aleem and Brian Neal got in there. I'm like, okay, these guys, you can just sense the cohesion that you guys have. And you could just tell how well you guys mesh together. And then you bringing in those guys. I remember, what was it? It was before you guys became the Heads of State, but there was a whole thing. Everybody was wanting, Matt Tremont to come back as, the bulldozer, the OG bulldozer, because he was the killdozer. And it was funny because I remember thinking Fire brought the killdozer. Fire will bring back the bulldozer. But then, funny enough, it was actually a match. It was after a match with, what was it? It was...
Was it him and Brandon Kirk?
Yes, it was that one where you guys came in after, and then boom, all of a sudden, now the bulldozer's back.
Yeah, because you kind of think of it because there was like basically like all the OGs that actually like knew the bulldozer. He had matched with when he was the killdozer. Try snap him out of it, snap him out of it, snap him out of it, and then you had that mass versus career match between him and Brandon Kirk, which like. Honestly, like it was like a mixed emotions going on in that show.
Yeah.
Because they like say like, oh, the Killdozer is going to get the mass burn, or Brandon Kirk's going to lose his career, and then wouldn't you know it, here comes the cabinet, go ahead and ruins the whole party, and next thing you know, everybody just boos the cabinet right out the parking lot, and then we put the beans to Brandon Kirk, and then next thing I know, the Killdozer or bulldozer just kind of snapped out of it. And decided he wants to go back as the bulldozer just to take care of the cabinet.
Yeah, and you know what? Now you guys, as the Heads of State here, actually, this will be coming out after the show, but you guys got a big match coming up on Saturday with another group that I've had just about everybody on in. Peace, Love, and Death match.
Yes.
That is going to be insane. Like, I'll admit, I have some stuff personal going on. Not to go too deep into it. We're actually laying my grandpa to rest earlier that day, but I'm going to be trying to, tune in that night to watch, because this match alone, knowing all the pieces involved, I just know it is going to be insane.
Yes, this Saturday is definitely going to be the same, because you got the Heads of State against Peace, Love, and Death match. Then add in Low Life Louie and Louie Jr. Team. What was the name? Team Come which is so you have peace, love, and deathmatch, and come against the heads of state. Now that 10-man tag is going to be wild.
Yeah, knowing all the pieces involved, and like you said, I've had both. Oh God, I've had. Damn it, I don't know why the individual names are escaping me right now. Man, like I said, it's been quite a crazy week, and now my dog wants to come and join me. But I've literally had just about everybody in that group on, and you have legend and low life Louie in there mixed in
certified legend and Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, so that him alone is gonna bring some craziness, and then you add his son and Alex Stretch, and I feel bad right now. I thought I had my damn notes.
It's all right. It's all right. So yeah, you got Alex Stretch, Anthrax, and Lady
Anthrax. That was it. Yep. I knew I was close.
Hey, you was close. I'll give you that.
But yeah, oh God, Low Life Louie, them, and his Low Life Louie's son. Ooh, man. Then you throw them against you guys. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, like I said, this tag match on Saturday is going to be a star-studded one. I mean, don't get me wrong, you have other great matches on the show as well. But like and all of them are going to be like bangers. If I can go ahead and use that word, I mean,
totally.
I mean, I don't know if anyone just like trademarked that, but all of those are going to be bangers. But the head state, we're not here to play around. I mean, we're here to make changes in H2O, and that's exactly what we did. And honestly, we started that at the last show. It was like back in July, the end of July. We started that when we beat up Declan Grant and Jess Moss, and then let the Bulldozer lay in as well. So this is going to be a continuation of that come this Saturday.
Oh, most definitely. And you know what? I think I know where my little tongue-tied situation was coming up there. Johnny Radix, for some reason, I knew Anthrax, but in my head, it was going from Anthrax, Radix, and then I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is going to be insane. And you mentioned, there's going to be some other great matches. I believe every single title in H2O is going to be on the line that night.
Yes, there is. Every single title match is on the line. Cecilia Vega, who won the hybrid championship off of me, is going to defend it against Cody Manhorn and Austin Luke.
That's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, you got the H2O heavyweight championship there.
Declan Grant and I'm trying to you know what? I had it somewhere in here, but damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, every title's on the line. The tag
legit, every title's on the line. So it's gonna be like a star-studded event. That's all we need.
Oh yeah, that's all. It's like H2O's own Night of Champions right there. Every single title on the line. I know the Danny Havoc Hardcore title, Neil Diamond Cutter, a former guest of the show. I always love watching that guy in the ring because, even going from his entrance with Sweet Caroline to, the intensity of his matches, it's almost like, oh, fun, love, and then
yes, it starts off fun with the song hits, but then when the song ends, it's time to get down to business. Just like when Declan Grant gets Christian Ross. Declan.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the heavyweight championship match. You got Neil Diamond Cutter against Dale Patricks. You even got Lucky 13 against the Bulldozer.
That's gonna be insane.
Yeah, you don't know what kind of stuff they're gonna bring, and it's been 10 years too.
Oh yeah. I know. Like I said, I've lost count of how many people from H2O I have. That words are hard. but I've lost count of how many people from HOI I've had on. One of the people, it's still like, everybody I've heard about wrestlers having bucket lists for like opponents, places they want to go, and all that. I know I have a bucket list for people I want on the podcast. Matt Tremont, the Bulldozer, is one of the few that I have yet to notch off of there.
I'm sure you're going to get him sooner or later.
Oh, yeah, sooner or later. Hell, one of my other ones right behind me here, I got one of his things, John Wayne Murdoch. It took me literally over a year to finally get that one nailed down, because that guy's a damn machine with the schedule he keeps.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. Yeah, but going back to what you say about wrestlers having bucket lists, I mean, yeah, like almost every single wrestler, whether you be in the independents or in the or like in the main companies, everybody has a bucket list. Like, whether it's their opponent they wanted to face, or what company they want to debut for, or they want to go across the pond. I mean, everyone's got a bucket list. I mean, like my bucket list is to see like if it's either I go across, maybe go to Japan.
That would be killer.
Yeah. Or like say like maybe if I get signed, but like say picking, so like so it's either one of those things is going to happen. So before I retire, but if I get one of those things to happen, then I call my career.
Oh yeah, and hell, come to think of it, one of the most famous in recent wrestling history, one of the most famous kind of bucket lists that got posted when Cody Rhodes left WWE the first time. He literally posted that list, and I think he pretty much notched everything off there.
Yeah, he pretty much notched every name off that bucket list, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say just about everything, yeah.
Yeah, just about. I probably would say he's probably got like maybe a couple more, I want to say, but I could be wrong though.
I mean, hell, with everybody that WWE has been bringing in lately, I'm sure there's going to be another name put on there, because, I mean, shit, the roster they got, there's going to be some dream matches coming our way, I'm sure.
Oh, it is insane. It's unbelievable how WWE has come forth with back from the era that we used to watch to like all the way to now. Like, because I think it started like, I want to say maybe 2015, and that's when they started signing all. No, not 2015. 2013 or 2014. The year they started signing all indie people.
Yeah,
and then that was like the talk of the wrestling world. Like all these big indie names got on the WWE, from NXT all the way to Raw or SmackDown, etc. It was nuts. Nobody could stop talking about it. And just now, like they're like getting people from Japan and Mexico and like Australia. They're like getting like all international talent. It's definitely becoming a global phenomenon.
Oh, most definitely. And before we get into more of that, because I got a couple categories here. Talking about traveling, I mean, maybe you guys aren't going over to the UK, but coming up in, I believe, October, H2O's got that big UK versus H2O thing. And I mean, there's a reason the term British strong style got coined. And then you have, there's a big death match scene over there too. So you bring that over here, mixed with everything that H2O can bring to the table. October is going to be a pretty damn big month with that show.
Yeah, I can believe. Yeah, I believe that. Like the UK and H2O going head to head. That's gonna be if I can use the term international incident. But that's what I think it is.
Yeah, you know what? I would like to think that that would fit perfectly right there. You know, an
Yeah,
international incident, maybe not in the way that some people think of international incidents with, like,
yeah, but like
political stuff
not
that
like
I won't go into.
no, nobody should not go into that. But like it's like a different type of.
But yeah, it's going to be big. Like, what are you looking forward to? Because I know there's maybe not England, but there's some places that consider part of the UK that there's some pretty big talent that could be coming our way in October for that show. What are you looking forward to there?
I'm just looking forward to like the talent that's just coming over from the UK and see and to see what kind of style they bring. Like you talked about British strong style. I mean, see, yeah, I see that, and also UK deathmatch. But I'm also interested to see if anyone is like going to bring like any like technical wrestling into the mix.
Mm.
Because I also watched Johnny Saint, Finley, Stephen
Mm.
Regal as a kid, and all the world of sports. I want to
Oh
see if
yeah.
any of them can like bring some of that to the table as well when they come to H2O.
Oh, definitely. I would be interested in seeing that myself because, hell, I know some people that I've been able to meet from over there. The grizzled young veterans starting their promotion over there. That who you knew what they could do before there's that schism thing they were involved in. But once they left WWE and they got back out on the independents and going to TNA, they did some stuff with AEW. They're starting
Yep.
their promotion. You really got to see what those guys, British strong style sort of stuff right there. And
Yeah, exactly.
they're
Exactly.
more along the lines of that technical wrestling that you were wanting to see brought over as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I basically I just cannot wait until the day that finally arrives because like people over here like if you haven't seen like UK wrestling, if you haven't seen UK wrestling before, you're definitely gonna get a treat when UK comes to H2O. That's definitely a
Oh,
treat.
oh yeah, most definitely. And well, before y'all get to that show, there is actually one other show coming up September, WrestleMania, and I believe one of the big things coming up for there was a Cage of Hell match.
Yes, the Cage of Hell match.
I remember, and you know what? For those that will watch this episode, and you haven't seen the Cage of Hell match in H2O, I know for me, I was at Sammy Callahan's promotion Revolver recently when they had their Cage of Horrors show.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody out here that might have also been to that show, Cage of Hell, very similar, but hell, they're both crazy. I remember watching the last one, and wow, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, yeah. And just like you said, yeah, Hustle May in September, they're bringing back the Cage of Hell, and we don't know what type of we don't know what type of structure that cage is going to be. I mean, we gotta. I mean, if you saw like the first Cage of Hell show, the type of structure they had, and the type
Mm-hmm.
of like carnage that left. Wait till you see this one in September. I guarantee it's going to be it's going to be like more different and also be like more crazier than the first one.
Oh, I can imagine because hell, even with I mentioned Revolver with the Cage of Horrors show, they get little tweaks in there. I wasn't at the one before this most recent one,
Mm-hmm.
but there's little tweaks. And then I've noticed, hell, they had scaffolding go over the thing. They had, barbed wire. They had one side that was a cage wall. They had one side that had the cage wall was bridged to the guardrail, and they had panes of glass on there. It just Cage of Horror is gonna be something very similar, very intense. And let's just say if you have people that you're wanting to, introduce to wrestling, you might want to ease them into a match like that, because yeah, let's just say I've had experiences watching matches similar to that, and with people that not as into wrestling as myself, and let's just say the looks on their faces are very entertaining.
Yeah, because like you don't know what you expect. I mean, if you go to like a show nowadays, you expect to see like, oh, this is pro wrestling. I'll say, okay, let's see like a bunch of guys like just wrestle in like underwear or singlets or whatever.
Yeah.
But like when you go to like an independent show nowadays, you see people just hitting over the head with chairs, light tubes, gusset plates, whatever the heck. And I always tell people like wrestling today is like what the Romans did in the Colosseum.
That gladiatorial combat.
Yes, because there's no like difference in that nowadays, because like people want to see violence. They want to see people use man-made weapons against their opponent. Like that's exactly what it is, and that's how I've been telling people that, because like everybody keep on saying, everybody can watch like WWE, AEW, Impact. Let's say, oh, that's all fake. That's all blah blah blah. I said, if you think that's all fake, then you haven't been to an independent wrestling show. And I always tell people, you go to an independent wrestling show around here, I guarantee you have a different perspective of professional wrestling.
Oh, most definitely. And like a lot of different genres of wrestling, you have your supporters, your detractors, but death match and the hardcore style kind of being one that has definitely been on some people's shit list. But the way I always try to describe it, and the way with people that I've had on that have made their name in that sort of style, we always tell people that style is just like any other form of wrestling, just death match. You just have, when it's done well, it's just surrounded by the death match elements. You still have a great match in there. You just see a lot more of light tubes and barbed wire and shit.
Yeah, you see more blood. That's about it. Where wrestling, you just see we're like wrestling, you see like all like the grappling where people were like used to from like back in the day, or like say maybe like the high flying wrestlers when they do a lot of dangerous stunts, not stunts, I mean dangerous maneuvers, or like high flying maneuvers where people like say like, hey, that's high risk because they will get hurt themselves. And then you got deathmatch wrestling, which is another form of art of professional wrestling, just only with weapons and more blood.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, you have, wrestling is, very subjective. It's like, I've heard the analogy made. It's like different flavors of ice cream. Everybody has their favorite. And then, you have stuff you like, you have stuff you don't. And then you have people like me that's like, ooh, give me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're say you're like indecisive. You don't know like what to pick until like you looked at everything and like say like, oh, okay, so like at least I know which one is my favorite flavor of wrestling. Like you like, because you use the ice cream analogy, like say like, if you want like grappling, oh, I would go with like strawberry, or if you want like high fly, I go with chocolate, or if you like deathmatch, you go with vanilla, which probably everybody's picking vanilla because everybody's liking the deathmatch this season right now.
Yeah, like it. Oh God, there's so many flavors that now that goddamn that has got me thinking. That has actually got me thinking of something that just piqued my curiosity for some reason. Doing something, an episode of like hell, my 2 cents stuff. Equating different genres of wrestling to different flavors of ice cream. What would we make? What?
Exactly. It's just like almost like you when you cut the promo. It's like if you take a certain item in your promo, you just tie it right back into wrestling. Because if you kind of think about it, like almost everything like ties around into wrestling almost.
Oh, you can literally, yeah, you can do that with just about everything. I know, hell, what was it? I think it was Eric Bischoff one time when I think he was telling the story about when he was doing an audition for, I think it was either an interviewer for WWE well before everything else. And it was like they had him do something on with a broom, like selling them, like hyping up the broom.
They want them to sell them the broom. Like, why should we choose that broom?
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, like how much stuff you could tie into wrestling. Like same with a stop sign, like a stop sign is like the same way as an octagon. Like say if you find a mixed martial arts, like say like you used to like the octagon because it has like eight sides or everything. But this is professional wrestling. You got a squared circle, not 8. You got 4, and you just tie it right back into wrestling, which is kind of crazy how that works.
I know it is interesting how that can all come up. So, all right, I have 2 categories here. The first one's a bit of a name game where I name off some people and you give me some quick thoughts on them. And I try to theme it towards the guests as much as possible. And we've talked a lot about H2O, and all but one of these people not only is big with H2O, but they've also been on the podcast before. And I figured, you guys with the heads of state, you're doing your job being, people like to boo you guys. So it'd be interesting. I thought it would be interesting, not only theming it with, people that have been on the podcast and H2O, but I figured, a guy that people would like to use the term a heel, some nice things about people that, people might see you guys going up against each other.
Okay.
Figured it might be a little interesting that way. So, we kind of already talked about, well, hell, we've talked about most of the people on the list, but, specifically geared towards this category. First person, Neil Diamond Cutter.
Neil Diamond Cutter. I give Neil all the respect in the world for what he did. I mean, he's the Danny Havoc hardcore champion. I mean, he went to Japan, Mexico. He's traveled all over the world for what he's done. Like, and people will go ahead and say that they would love to see a match between me and Neil Diamond Cutter, which I would like to see as well.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I would see how I fare up against Neil Diamond Cutter because I only had I want to say a slight taste of the deathmatch scene when I fought Bam Sullivan for the Danny Havoc Hardcore Championship. Now, and that was almost a year ago. So now we're getting to September, October, November. I'm saying one of these months, I'm definitely want to say that maybe a match between me and Neil Diamond Cutter might be in the near future. I mean, who knows? You just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I guess we will. I know, hell, October, people often think of, Halloween, horror themed stuff. You know, head of state going up against, Neil Diamond Cutter for that title, it would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting. It's be interesting to see people see like one of the head states go up against Neil Diamond Cutter.
That would be killer. Now,
Yeah,
this next person is the only one on this category that hasn't been on the podcast yet, but I would not mind having him on. The H2O heavyweight champion, Declan Grant.
Declan Grant, like another great talent, and he definitely proved his worth. I mean, so say two-time H2O heavyweight champion. I
He's
mean,
been multiple time, yeah.
yeah, multiple times. Yeah, he's. I mean, like he was also he won two tournaments in 1 year. The it was one deathmatch tournament and one. I want to I want to say it was no, it was just both deathmatch tournaments, and the man is a workhorse. Like
Mm-hmm.
you see him in the ring, whether it be wrestling or deathmatch, the man's a workhorse. Like
Oh,
I don't know because I wrestled him a couple times, but like just for me, just like to have that main event match against Declan Grant, like that would be like a blockbuster in itself
oh
because
yeah.
like you got the hardworking man Declan Grant against the politician in me. And what hardworking middle class American would love to just punch a politician in the mouth?
Oh man, I know I have had more talks than I can count with different people outside of the podcast on somewhat of that subject. And yeah, and now that I think about it, another you know title for consideration here, another title shot. We're in the midst of a getting ready for an election season, which, yeah, this is about as much politic talk as I'll ever get into. But, you know, being that we're getting ready for that, and it would be kind of interesting, somewhere in there, president of pro wrestling getting into the H2O title.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like what like because how you look at it is like when you get the heavyweight championship organization, that means it's like you're the man. That means you got the power.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me to get like a heavyweight title shot at that and like so like and like somehow some way like getting that championship is like more power for me and like the heads of state, and that would like certifies me as like I am the top politician, like nobody can touch me.
And hell, it would definitely be interesting. You've had wrestling has had groups that have at one point held every title in a promotion. Much
Oh
like,
yeah.
getting into that, hell, we're getting into much like I brought up with how I thought up of, you and Declan for that title. It would be interesting, same time frame, each of the members of the heads of state at one point during that time frame ended up holding everything.
Like hold up all the gold, like say
All the gold.
we're like in total control.
Yeah. That just popped into my head just now. I'm like, dude.
I feel like that it'll be and it's inevitable. Like that is going to happen like sooner than later. Like everybody just gotta just like wait for it. Or if you have IWTV or if you show up to H2O show, it's probably going to happen when you like least expect it. Why all the heads of state like holding all the gold. Like say like I don't know, maybe like I'll go ahead and say like Duncan Lee and Brian Neal got the tag team championships, or Brax got the Danny Havoc hardcore championship. Mm-hmm. Johnny Brax gets the hybrid championship, and I get the heavyweight championship. That's like
you got everything.
We got everything. Like we hold it all.
That would be a sight to see for sure. All right. Next person, another person that has been on the show, and he seems to be rubbing some people the wrong way right now. But I'm talking about Jimmy Chondo Lion.
Honestly, that match is a rematch in the making because this is a funny story. So I actually did wrestle Jimmy Chondo Lions, but it wasn't an H2O show. It was a show like years ago, like right where I was like getting out and like doing outside shows. And he was like my third opponent in an outside show. And we had a good match. Even though it was first, we had a good match that day and everybody had to follow it. But me just having a rematch against Chano, I want to say that would be like 10 years in the making right there. Because we haven't wrestled we haven't wrestled one-on-one in 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean because I know Chano's he does the death match, and sometimes he can do wrestling. Like if I had to take my pick on like what type of match that we would do, I would say this is like a good old fashioned one-on-one like wrestling, straight up wrestling match, just to show people, hey, Chano can wrestle. Okay, he's not just this guy who show up without his boots and just go ahead and pop people over the head, which he likes to do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking that off, but he also can wrestle. I mean, he proved it against Marcus Mathers, and he definitely can prove it against me.
Oh yeah, no, and that is another thing when it comes to detractors of the deathmatch style. It's like you look at a lot of the people that have made their name in that style. They can also go without all that. Tremont has proved it. Mm-hmm. John Wayne Murdoch has proved it. Oh, God. Alex Cologne's another guy that's proved it. There's a lot of those guys out there that, they can still go without all of that.
Yeah, I mean, because that's how they got their start. They started off with the basic fundamentals of professional wrestling first. And then when they got that down and they got the advanced level down, it's time to evolve. And I think the evolution was deathmatch wrestling, because deathmatch wrestling, I mean, you are doing the exact same wrestling, hold for hold, move for move, and type stuff, but you're adding weapons in that scenario. So that's the that's almost like the evolution part of it.
Mm-hmm. No, most definitely. All right. Last but not least for the name game here, the grimy bitch, Jess Moss.
There's another one that wants to that we want to wrestle one-on-one again. Jess Moss, she's literally coming to her own. She's definitely catching her stride. I mean, I think all the times that when she duked it out with against people, say Mickey Knuckles, Kennedy Copeland, and also Declan Grant and all that time. She's definitely coming to her own. She's not afraid to get to wrestle with the boys. Yeah. She's one tough chick. I'll tell you that.
Oh, and yeah.
I definitely would like to wrestle her one-on-one as well.
Oh yeah, she is one of those that there's definitely a group of people that you can put into this category, but that category of equal opportunity ass kickers.
Yeah,
Like they'll you put them up against whoever, they'll go. Jess Moss
exactly.
definitely one of those.
Exactly. Yeah. Like basically all of them, they can all go. It's like they're not just known for deathmatch, but they're just known for professional wrestling in
Mm-hmm.
general as a whole.
Oh
See,
yeah.
and I think that's what people nowadays are like discouraging because they have no idea.
Yeah, most definitely. All right. Now I have some random questions. Some might be wrestling related, some might not be, some might have absolutely nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far.
Hmm?
That's why random. So so I give you the question, first answer that pops into your head. And first one, so one I never changed where I put this one because I love leading off with it. Craziest in match moment for you?
Craziest in match moment for me. Uh I would say the craziest in match moment for me was the 5-on-5 cuffed and cage match I had.
Ooh.
It was me, Brax, Anthrax, who was with us at the time. What was with us? Blah, 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 blah.
I believe I was watching that match.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it was Frank Benetti and Adonis Valerio.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
And we was going up against Matt Tremont, Low Life Louie, Bam Sullivan, Mouse, and Chondo. And the one part in the match was that stuck out in my head was when JB Anderson, who who's going to give me the light tubes to blast Bam Sullivan. I said no. He low blown me, tossed the light tubes to Bam Sullivan, and Bam Sullivan just whacked me with the light tubes, and that got the pop. That was like, oh, they want to see me get nailed with those light tubes. They got their wish, and the whole crowd went nuts.
Oh yeah, that they did. That match was insane. Now, hell, we talked about a weapon being used right there. What is a weapon you would like to avoid in a match if you had the choice?
Oh, I I seen this on numerous occasions. I think honestly, getting nailed with that sucks, and I hopefully I can avoid it. But but I'm talking, but like those little metal things, the Kenzines. You know
Yeah, yeah. Oh god, I've
like
seen videos of those getting removed.
yeah, those things suck. Okay, I remember it was Otis Kogart. He got one stuck in his head, and they had to use forceps to get it out.
Oh god, yeah. I remember one time the video I watched. I'm forgetting if it was actually Tremont, but I know that it stuck with me because they practically used a pair of vice grips to try to help rip it off of their head. And I'm like,
yeah, like
ow.
like that thing was jammed in there. Like, and I seen that happen to Low Life Louie, Abdullah Kobayashi, Otis Kogart. Like, if I can avoid that, then I'm fine.
Oh yeah. Like, I know I'm not an active in-ring competitor, but if I ever like like a one-off thing, I'd be like, no, those, no, we're not, no, not doing it.
Yeah, like that's the one thing. Like if I see like a weapon that would be like that was like, yeah, that does not look please. I'm not just gonna like just I'm just saying no.
Yeah, like I remember, we talked about Alex Colon earlier. I believe he was the first one that actually had this question. I'm like, I love the answer that he gave because he talked about a moment where his answer was actually toothpicks. And he brought up this story where they were, looking at weapons that were made, and he saw a thing that had a whole bunch of toothpicks sticking out of it, and he like chucked it into the woods, and I'm like, nope, fuck that.
Yeah, like I remember a show. This was back in the day. Like I want to say it was the Tournament of Death of 2004.
Okay.
It was this one match, Man Pondo and Toby Klein.
Okay.
Yeah, and you remember the one thing that Pondo took a bump on. I think it was like a styrofoam full of pencils or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he took that driver. Pondo when someone brought that to the show for like X Brand show, Pondo said, "Never again, never again. I am not taking that." He took it, he threw it in the corner. And I said, "Don't nobody use it." And like because he talked about how dangerous that thing was. And like how it got into his bloodstream and everything, and he said, "No, not nobody needs to take that bump." I mean, you could do all this, you could do other stuff, but you don't need to do that.
Yeah, that was actually kind of how Alex Sloan ended up bringing up the toothpicks, because it's like, much like pencils and stuff, you could get lucky and get the whole thing out, but like the pencil stuff, you get that getting into your bloodstream. Or like you could get lucky and get the whole toothpick out, but you might break off the wrong piece and then it's getting infected and shit.
Exactly. I mean, like what? I mean, like you can like go ahead and have a death match, but you just be like smart about it.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Next question I have here, and people like hell. I've actually talked with a couple of people in the last couple of weeks that they talk about one of the things they do when they're on a road trip, and music that pumps them up. Like I believe it was a couple days ago I talked with somebody, like he would have a road trip a playlist going, but then when he got so close to the town, he would switch up to different entrance music for different wrestlers that just got him going. So my question here, what's some music that really pumps you up?
Oh man, so like so it's kind of like difficult for me to say like what kind of music that will like pump me up, because like I can tell you the era of music that will get me pumped up is like 80s and 90s. Like since I'm a 90s kid and I grew up around like 80s and 90s music, I mean like just hearing like basically the music from that era just gets me pumped up out of nowhere. And then like soon as I like get to like the venue of the show, I sometimes do try to play like old school wrestling themes. Mm-hmm. So like I get into my mindset. They like say, okay, now I'm at the venue. It's time to freaking go.
Oh yeah. Like one that really, a more wrestling entrance that really gets me pumped, and I've actually got a reaction on Twitter from said person when they actually released the entrance music on iTunes. The entrance music that Tama Tonga and Tongaloa used in New Japan.
The Gorillas of Destiny.
The Gorillas of Destiny was like, ain't nobody real than Gorilla. And I'm like, I started hearing that. I'm like, dude, like even when I'm not going anywhere wrestling related, I hear that and I'm like, dude, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you have like a wrestling theme that is like very popular, that you would definitely play it on iTunes. Like for me, the one thing that was like that got me going it's probably kind of corny, but like heck, I don't care. It was like Hawkins WCW theme. Like the American made the WCW thing.
Yeah.
Like that got
Nope.
me going. Like it's like every time when I'm like I'm getting there, and then like I usually like try and change it up to like see like what else I could do, and it could be like say like it would be like Stone Cold's theme, or it could be the Rock's aggression themes as well,
Mm.
because like we use the like the theme. You don't know which theme they're talking about. Are you talking about like his original theme, the aggression type theme, or the PG rated theme, or like what kind of theme are you talking about?
So even with Stone Cold, like, and Stone Cold and DX are two of my favorite examples of this, because any entrance that you pick out of there, good, get you pumped. But Stone Cold is one that they didn't use it for all that long, but the one that was done by the band Disturbed, that one hits hard.
Oh yes, yeah.
And then the DX one that was done by Run DMC.
Yes,
That version, the best. Like, oh my god, love it.
Yeah, and do you remember the one theme they used for Mike Tyson back in WrestleMania? I want to say it was
I can't
WrestleMania
remember
14.
the name. I do remember the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was WrestleMania 14. They used like a crazy theme for like Mike Tyson when he made his entrance as the Enforcer.
I do remember that show. I just don't remember the entrance music for him.
If you have like the anthology CD for WWE, it's on there. It's just nuts. And that hit.
I would imagine.
Sometimes I go back and play that.
I might have to go look that one back up, because now you got me curious, and it's gonna drive me nuts until I figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with the name of a show like I would feel weird if I didn't ask this. Favorite drink, whether it be alcoholic or non, or shit, one of each, because I try to always tell people, just because it says Drinkin at most doesn't mean that it has to be alcoholic. Because, there's people out there that for one reason or another just don't drink.
Yeah, I mean, like it's their prerogative. They
Yeah.
want to drink or not. I mean, like nobody's gonna knock off that.
No, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, and we're talking about drinks like after the show, or like
after, before, whatever.
So so there's like two things. So like before the show, I literally like try to like stay hydrated. I always make sure I have like some water in me. Like basically like I would be hydrated before the show, because like sometimes like especially during the summer, like when you get dehydrated, like you're like sluggish, like you're done. Like, and like you always have to be like just like I'm ready to go. But then like after the show, like I try to chill down. I usually just have like a light beer after. Just kind of chill things down. I say, okay, show's over. Now we just go ahead and just chill down.
Oh yeah. No, hell. This just happened to be, but I had one with me here. But yeah, I definitely have my favorites. My wife, as far as non-alcoholic stuff, likes to give me shit saying I got a problem, but Dr. Pepper, I'm a Dr. Pepper fiend.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. And like there'll be like some people who will like drink like this is fun, how they will like drink coffee before the shows. And I'm like thinking of like you wait a minute, you drink coffee before the shows? How are you guys not sluggish? Because they told me they always drink black coffee, because black coffee gives you that certain type of energy. And I said, okay. So I end up doing that as well. And like it just like always gives me the jitters. I just like, and I always have the jitters like right after the show. And I was like, my God, I can't stop.
All right. Now, last but not least here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling?
The best advice that I want to say, when you want to get into wrestling, I gotta say that you need to make sure that you know that you want this, because you hear this time and time and time again that this business is very demanding, and this business also is also a business as well. You need to like help promote yourself, so to find a way how you can like how can you promote yourself to make money. Okay,
Yeah.
because like when you get in the because like once you've done all the trials and tribulations, all the training, that's good and all, but in order for you to survive in this, you need to learn how to market yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when you go out there, at least, hey, this is why I'm worth. I can go ahead and just make money, and like almost like any industry. And I guarantee, like all the major wrestling promotions will tell you the exact same thing, because I heard this time and time again from all the people. Like the one person that trained me, Jim Mono, former ECW referee, he always gave me advice when we talk about like old school type of wrestling, and I always like pick his brain about everything from like stuff that happens in the 80s and 90s, like how wrestlers did it this way or how they market themselves this way. And he always gave me clear-cut answers about almost everything, whether it be, okay, you need to have a good shirt design, or you want to see, you want people to know that you're serious in marketing, you need to go ahead and have a muscular body, or all that. But this business is very demanding, but it also can teach you life lessons on what to do, how to make everything work for you. Like how do you like just survive in the business? I mean, that would be the thing. Like if you want to be a professional wrestler, don't just look at everything on TV and say it's cool. You gotta have the mindset. You need to eat, sleep, and breathe this thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely, yeah. And you brought up a good point there with it being able to often teach you life lessons, because hell, I know, much like I fit in a lot of what I hear people answer in this question into, like, my enlistment. People will hear certain stories that I'll tell, like, hell, one that I often use that gets an answer for, like, man, how did you do that? I don't know. Like when there was a point on my deployment where I was up for like 4 days straight, not even getting to lay down.
Flag. Yep, I know it's gonna happen sooner or later.
But
it's gonna happen sooner or later. Oh well.
Yeah. But people ask, like, I'm like, you know what? It's interesting how you will find out what you're capable of when you don't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah, exactly. Like say, like when you are out on the road, you see so much things that it will teach you life lessons that you don't even learn in school or in college. You just basically just go on the road and just like see it. Because yeah, I mean, they're gonna teach you what you need to know, but in order to like grasp everything, you need to go out to the road and just like embrace like the life lessons. And that is honestly, that's what like taught me how to be like somewhat of a better wrestler.
No, embracing it, that actually I feel weird sometimes bringing up different military examples, but the phrase that often gets used in the military that fits right along with what you just said: embrace the suck.
Exactly.
It just fit right along with there, because yeah, you're gonna have times that are quite frankly gonna suck. But
it is gonna suck, like 100%.
Just learning how to just embrace it and learn how to just plug along and power through it. It happens. You'll run into stuff, wrestling and hell, life in general.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
All right. Well, before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on the president of professional wrestling, they can go ahead and get them there.
So you can find me on Instagram at ehawk203. You can find me on X or Twitter or whatever at Prez Hawkins at 856. Or you can just find me on Facebook at Edward Hawkins.
All right, we'll get all that in the description. But that is about all I got. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come talk to me tonight. I had a blast. Best of luck out there, H2O and beyond, because much like we talked about some of those shows, I'm excited for what y'all got coming up.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.